everybody, it's me. I'm back. Like it or not, I'm here. 2 days of CE, and my mind is going 100 miles an hour, and got my fix, I guess, till next year. So real quickly, I want to go over some things. You know, recently I posted a picture of a deck, got several different comments about it. Everything that you saw in the picture was wrong with the deck. I mean, every single thing. And I know I get a lot of contractors that make comments on things, general contractors, home improvement contractors, handyman, whatever. And I know there was one comment made about code in 1943. Well, we didn't have decks in 1943. So, and I made several comments that that deck was built several years ago. There was addition that was added several years ago. The addition and the deck were added at a later point, at a later time. And the deck was just not right at all, period. Nothing about code back then or whatever. There was no code about decks then because they didn't have decks in the 40s, 50s, 60s. It wasn't until later in the 70s that we had decks. So if you see a house that's 1800s up until the 70s, and there's a deck on it, then guess what? It was added on at some point. So a lot of people don't understand what home inspectors do or home inspection is, and I make these videos to educate people because some people try to come at me like I don't know what I'm talking about, or I'm the contractor and I know more than you. Well, guess what? I was a contractor for 27 years. I know what I'm talking about too. But that's just the thing about tradesmen. They argue code all day long because they all have different interpretations of it. But when it's there in front of you black and white, and you have one of the best home inspection companies train you that they are home inspectors, they are general contractors, they are engineers, they're forensic engineers. They know what they're talking about. They're teaching me. They know this stuff. So I give it to you. And as a home inspector, I am there no matter when the house was built, no matter how something was built. This has nothing to do about it was okay then when the house was built, or it was okay then when whatever. The time and the date of inspection, and the here and the now, if there's a safety concern, a safety hazard, a defect, something not functioning as intended, I am going to make mention of it. That is my job. So stop all the, it was okay back then, or it was okay then. Well, guess what? It failed. Things happened. They changed the code. Why do they have codes? Why do codes change? Because people get hurt, people get injured, accidents happen, things start to fail, things don't function as intended. There's a lot of it, so they make a change to improve it. That's why they have the code in just about every trade that you can think of. So if I show a picture of something being toenailed, deck being toenailed, no ledger, no hangers or whatever, don't say that was okay back then. I know it was okay back then, but it's not okay now. There is a new homeowner, or there's a new potential buyer wanting to buy that house, and I'm looking out for their safety because the code changed from the time that deck was built until now. That's my job. That's why people pay me to go out and do a thorough inspection and educate them about it. So I just want to get that out of the way because I'm tired of hearing it all the time. And if you look at things like that, then you're not really doing your invasive inspection. When I call out something in a home and I refer it to the proper professional, whether it's a general contractor, an engineer, plumbing contractor, whoever, you should do an invasive inspection and make sure you say the cover plate is cracked. The electrician shouldn't just go in there and replace the plate They should figure out why did that plate damage? Did something shift wrong? Was something over tightened? Is there something, the oversized screws here? Is there, you've got to figure out things around the issue and do an evasive inspection or further investigation, because you might just replace the defect that I see visually. There may be something more invasive that you need to take components out to further investigate and find more issues. That's why we have disclaimers and let people know this is a visual inspection. There may be, we ask for the proper professional to fully evaluate. That's why we ask them to do that, because, I'm not supposed to tell people why something failed or how something failed. I don't know. I'm not the product that failed. I don't know why. I can't speak. I can't talk for that product. That's why we have the proper professional go in, fully evaluate, and give you their diagnosis, whatever. They do the repair. They should warranty or give a warranty or some type of something to make you feel comfortable, and want to use their service and recommend them and do whatever. That's just, the right thing to do as a professional tradesman. It goes with all things. You need to do the best to your ability. You need to further investigate, do a full evaluation of things. So I'm just a generalist, just about everybody here goes to a general physician. You have a cough, a sneeze, a headache, you hurt yourself, you stubbed your toe, you got some type of ailment, some issue, whatever, you go to a generalist. They look at you, they may have to do further testing, and then they send you maybe to the proper professional, maybe an ear, nose, and throat doctor, maybe a brain surgeon, maybe an orthopedic surgeon, maybe a dentist or an eye doctor or something. They're going to refer you to the proper professional. So look at a home inspector as a generalist. A lot of people don't. And there's things that we have limitations on. We do have limitations. We're not going to find every single thing in the house. There's things that are hidden in the house that we cannot see or we don't have access to. And we're supposed to let people know that. If we couldn't test the functionality of something, or if we couldn't get to something, why? Was there stored items there? Was there a lock on the door? Was it sealed shut? There's just no attic, period. There's no attic access. There wasn't never one there, or it was covered up, or it's nailed shut, or whatever. Just let people know why we couldn't access that area, or that we didn't access that area. This is a hard job. We've got a lot of liability on our shoulders. And a lot of people think we're Superman, that we can see through walls and we can predict things that are going to happen. The light switch in that room was working that morning when I left to go to work, and when I come home it wasn't working. Well, you're the only one that was in there. So what? The light bulb could went out, the switch could have went out, anything could go out. So who are you blaming when your car doesn't crank? You gonna blame yourself because your car didn't crank because you're the last one that drove it? I mean, seriously, be realistically and quit trying to blame people for things, and find a way out of things. Like I said the other day, I was talking about you loan somebody your car, they bring it back, and then the next morning you go out to it and you start it and you start going on the road and you hear a noise or something happens or whatever, you automatically think, so-and-so done this to my car. You don't think it through that things can just happen. Maybe they did do something to your car. Maybe they wasn't honest about it. I don't know. Do your due diligence. Take it to a repair shop. Find out if it's something that just failed. Find out what's the issue. If this ain't a dent in the side of your car or whatever, then more than likely it's just something that failed. Period. Get some water. A little warm. I let it sit in the truck while I was in CE. But anyway, guys, there's a lot of new deck stuff. I'm telling you, I feel kind of bad because there's probably a lot of deck stuff that a majority of home inspectors haven't called out because we just wasn't educated and didn't know about it. And a lot of these things were just are just now being a requirement from the state from this day forward, or your day of CE or whatever, when you gain knowledge of it. So I have a feeling we're going to be calling out a lot of deck issues. I mean, I already do, but I think it's just going to be a lot worse. And also with crawl spaces, a lot of people that have crawl spaces are not going to be too happy. It's just our job. I mean, we're required to report certain things. When the licensing board says you may report something on this, then it gives you the option. You can report it, blah, 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 blah. But when it says, what was the wording? It's not should. It's pretty much you have to. Let me go through my notes here. I know it's somewhere close by. Must, the word must. You got may report and must report. Must, you have to, no exceptions, nothing. You must report it. May report it is you can, blah, blah, blah. So if you feel like something's not right, you should report it regardless. You shouldn't feel dumb if you report something that you're not sure about, but if you've got that feeling there's something wrong, then more than likely there is something wrong. But when you just fill your report up with this stuff that's, you know, when they say you may report something or whatever, the more likely there's some kind of issue there. But if you just start reporting some stuff that's just blatantly, you know, there's whatever, I mean, that's just, you're gonna be out of business. But you just gotta think things through and just get the proper professional out there, man. There's a lot of people that depend on home inspectors, and then there's a lot of people that when one thing goes wrong, they call it back on that home inspector. You missed this, you missed that, or whatever. The thing is, they don't read the full report. They don't know what our exclusions are. They don't know what we're not required to report. They only assume. Most people assume that we're supposed to walk on a roof, or that we have to walk on a roof. We do not have to walk on a roof. We are not required to walk on a roof. There's a lot of things that we are not required to do and things that we are required to do. All I can suggest is you go to the Home Inspector Licensing Board, which is pretty much the Department of Insurance Fire Marshal website, and look up the Standards of Practice, North Carolina Home Inspector Standards of Practice, and read the exclusions, and you'd be surprised. We're only required to do the minimum, and I tell you now that I go above and beyond the minimum. So everybody's different. Some people stick just to the SOP, and I guess in some ways that's good for you, and in some ways an agent that's used to somebody going above and beyond the SOP, they're gonna be like, well, you didn't say anything about this, you didn't say anything about this. And then the first time they say, well, I'm not required to, I don't have to, they're gonna be like, well, so-and-so does, and so-and-so does. That's just that other inspector's choice. So anyway, I'm gonna get in here. I've got I just updated my template, and I've got a lot more narratives and stuff to add and update. I mean, a lot of this stuff's going to be going towards decks and crawl spaces, and they're already an issue, especially on a flipped house. Anybody knows that you go to a flipped house, crawl space is the one. The buyer shows up for the inspection within the hour. They're like, how things going? You're like, oh, they're going great, man. I haven't seen really anything that's real concerning. You know, there are some things, but nothing that's like red flags to me. And then you go in the crawl space, you come out, and you're just like a different story, a different tune. They're in there excited, you're going over the summary, and usually the substructure and the crawl space are usually the last thing, and they're pretty much let down. And kind of disgruntled and aggravated, and it happens. It happens. It's just part of a home buying process. Would you rather be a little upset and disgruntled and lose $300 to $500 or whatever the cost of the home inspection is, or you would rather just ignore everything, the home inspection, what the home inspector found, to say we're going to live here anyway, and then there become an issue later, and then try to go back against the home inspector and say, well, you didn't say this, but you did say this. And people always try to find a way out. People get buyer's remorse. People don't want to take responsibility. People don't want to read the reports. Read the report fully, thoroughly. Most people just go down to the summary. That's all they care about. And then a couple months later, or when they move in, after they close, they go in, they find an issue, what they think's an issue that was reported that they didn't read in the report. You know, and when every home inspector gets that call, because we all do, especially when you don't have the report in front of you, you're out in the field or whatever you're doing, and you don't have access to the report, you're just thinking in your mind, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, did I miss that? Oh my God, oh my God. You know, you just start thinking, oh my God. And my first thing is, I'm gonna grab my phone and I'm gonna tell that client, please hold on, I'm gonna pull this report up and we're gonna get this resolved. If I missed it, I'm gonna take ownership of it. If it's something that I was required to inspect or should have fully inspected, I'm gonna take ownership of it. If it's something that I'm not required to, or something I blatantly missed, then yeah, I'm gonna take responsibility for it. I'm a grown ass man. I mean, come on, I'm not gonna throw it on somebody else. I mean, seriously. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. But seriously, I think before long I'm gonna be hiring somebody part-time that's already licensed in the state of North Carolina, part-time, to maybe do anywhere from 1 to 5 inspections a week, and maybe more, just depending on what they want to do and if they want to grow. But anyway, I'll let you guys know more about that soon. We're just getting super busy, and before long it's going to be a little bit too much for me to handle, and I just got to take the proper measurements to get somebody in here that's qualified, that already knows some things that would be a good asset to Home Tech. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. 336-989-8185 or hometechnc.com. I really appreciate it, guys. Just give me a call if you have any questions or concerns. Email schedule at hometechnc.com if you want to schedule a home inspection.